1 Million Cups is the Kauffman Foundation's entrepreneurship networking group. It's an education platform that allows startups and anybody with a business or idea to come and present in front of an engaged community. So from the guy that has gone out and raised a Series C, $30 million plus type thing, to the person that's just starting out that needs that critical feedback to really jumpstart their venture. Any companies that are interested in presenting, we're an open format. Literally anybody can apply to present. It's really a platform for all, so anybody that's interested, we can have them come out, present in front of the community, and then the big thing is the Q&A. It's a live Q&A, so it really puts the entrepreneurs on the spot, but it also allows them to get that real feedback. It's supportive, but you get those critical points that could help somebody make a decision in their business that makes a difference. I would encourage anybody to come out, so even if they're not ready to pitch yet, just to come out and get involved with the chapter, see the chapter, watch others pitch, and then eventually they get the courage to come out and pitch themselves. That's what 1 Million Cups is. You can go check it out at 1millioncups.com, and you can join us at 1millioncups.com/ColumbusOH to check out our community. Join us, apply to present. We're easy to work with, so apply on there, and we'll be happy to chat with you and get you on as a weekly presenter. So, but without further ado, let's give it to the man of the hour. So, Mike Holt with Nodis. Very interested to hear everything that you guys are building, Mike. So let's turn it over to you. Welcome to the 1 Million Cups Columbus stage, and take it away.
Great, thank you. Let me switch the screen here. That work okay?
Yep.
So happy to be here. Good to see everybody. We all know global warming's a major problem. I used to think this was only about oil, cars, and cows. At Nodis, we've been passionate about solving global warming by addressing its biggest contributor, buildings. As founders, we came together to focus our nanoparticle display technology team on making buildings more efficient and reducing CO2 emissions with our smart glass. But we also leverage this into cars. So to save the world from global warming, we have to address CO2 generation from buildings. Buildings consume 40% of a city's electricity and produce 45% of a city's CO2 emissions. So it's a big deal. With Nodis TrueTint, windows are electrically controllable, instantly switching the infrared, the tint, and the color. And not only do TrueTint windows reduce emissions and improve energy efficiency, TrueTint actually generates electricity. The result? Carbon neutral buildings and a 70% decrease in energy costs. Meet Mr. Kim. He runs a large Seoul office building. He wants to reduce his energy usage and he wants to reduce his CO2 footprint. Let me show you how he does it with Nodis. He installs Nodis TrueTint glass, which is controlled by his building management system through the Windows gateway controller by Nodis over the existing building's power lines. Each block of windows is controlled by the Nodis window controller, which automatically adjusts the tint and color and the amount of infrared. Infrared is what heats the building, and so this allows optimization of the temperature and lighting to save energy and reduce greenhouse gas emissions from buildings. He starts the window management software. Here he sees important information like how much of the lighting is coming from natural sources, how much of the heating is coming from infrared. He can see how much energy is being generated, the reduction in CO2 emissions that results. He can see how much money he's saving. He can also control the windows from a switch on the wall, from his mobile device. He can set dimming levels. He can set a dimming schedule. By optimizing dimming, he saves money. And when ready, this is all integrated into the building management system to be controlled automatically also. The result is A large building saves a couple of $1 million in electricity and a huge decrease in CO2 emissions. So how does this work? It's actually pretty straightforward, complicated to do, but easy to explain. Very much like the louvers on your window. You know, you pull the string and it changes the louvers to determine how much light comes in. We do the same thing. We use nanoparticles as our louvers, and they act as optical shutters. And then we orient these nanoparticles when a voltage is applied across the window. This causes the particles to rotate, determining how much light and infrared is allowed into the building. And then we optimize the heating and cooling by automatically adjusting the dimming and the infrared by orienting these nanoparticles. Essentially, we have nanoparticles that are 1 micron long. These are color-coded. They can be any color. And then these nanoparticles are contained in a solution. This solution is then housed in little swimming pools, little wells that are micro-imprinted into plastic film. These are about 50 micron deep and about 50 micron in diameter, and they contain this solution of nanoparticles. We then seal that with another layer of film, and then this is laminated between 2 pieces of glass. And then when a voltage is applied across the glass, it causes the nanoparticles to each change their orientation, and that allows us to control the dimming and the lighting. We can add multiple layers, and when we add multiple layers, we could actually change the color. We could have a R layer, a G layer, a B layer, a red, green, blue layer to select any kind of color that we want. Even more than that, I guess you would immediately say, wow, it switches instantly. You can do any color, and you have all these wells that look a lot like pixels. And we can also control each of those pixels. And with that, every window is a display. If it's on your computer, if it's on your YouTube, it's on your window. Smart glass isn't new. Other people are doing smart glass, but it's an old generation that doesn't have nearly the capabilities that Nodis TrueTint has. First, Nodis is up to 10 times lower cost than competing solutions. Solutions for buildings cost $80 a square foot at least, and solutions for cars are about $300 a square foot. You can imagine $300 a square foot for a sunroof. It's going to cost thousands of dollars to put in your car, and the result is that only the highest end cars use existing solutions. With Nodis, 10 times lower cost because the approach is a very cost-effective approach. We switch instantly. We can switch in under a second, as opposed to existing solutions used in buildings that take up to 20 minutes to change. That reduces the efficiency. Of course, it can't be used in cars. We're the only color smart glass solution. Any other smart glass is blue. It's based on chromium technology and it's blue. If you like blue, you can use the other ones, but we can be any color. We also control the infrared, which is the critical component in energy efficiency. The other ones don't control infrared. We have infinite tints, so it can be any tint level, 37%, 53%, whatever you want it to be. It's an existing market that's big, and maybe some have heard of some of our similar or competing companies. View Technology, Silicon Valley company, startup, raised a total of $2 billion, just closed recently $1 billion from SoftBank. But again, it's using this older technology. It's being deployed in buildings, but there's something new that has to be done, and that's what we're doing. The market is for glass is $140 billion, but only $6 billion of it is smart glass, and that's because of cost. And so that's what we address. So we work with glass companies first, and we sell our film to the glass companies to embed in their glass. We do this because they have huge volume, and it's a great way to focus our go-to-market. We get paid for the initial joint development, which is the qualification of their glass product, and with that license of the use of our technology. And then we sell them the film. And we can deliver miles and miles and miles of film. We do that in partnership with a manufacturer, a film imprinting manufacturer in Korea and in Japan, very large companies that allow us to scale this tremendously. But we are putting in place, and we will always do the nanoparticle manufacturing ourselves, and we're putting that in place here in Columbus. So we're just starting to build out that manufacturing capability. We have existing capability in Russia, where our advanced materials team is. So our team, the advanced materials team is based in Russia. Sergey, who is my co-founder, is in Russia now, but he'll be back here to Columbus. And we've got a focus in Korea where we do our manufacturing, and we're starting to build out the capability here in Columbus. And so that'll be the manufacturing. We're hiring that manufacturing team now, VP of Manufacturing Ops, and the go-to-market team as well. So why Columbus? I get that question all the time. When we chose to be here, we moved here from Singapore in February. So I've been here in Columbus since February, and we chose Columbus for a bunch of reasons. First, our lead investor, Get to Volume, has set up its second fund here in Columbus. And so part of this was encouragement from our investor to be here in Columbus as well. Talent was a big factor for us. Where can we hire the right team to scale our business? And we felt that Columbus had a lot of that. It's ability to get to the right kind of experienced, high-tech manufacturing people. Market and customers. Turns out there are a lot of glass companies in this area, and a lot of our customers are already here. So these are big glass companies like ones that we work with, Nippon Sheet Glass, Fuyao. There's a company called Carlex, not in Ohio, but in Nashville, that does automotive glass, and there's Vitro that does building and automotive glass. So there's a lot of customers here, and we're also, very, very attracted as a startup of being part of a growing, emerging startup ecosystem. Been very much a part of that in Singapore as it's grown up to be I would say a fairly established, mature startup ecosystem, but hasn't always been like that. And I think we seek to enjoy a lot of benefits of being a part of such a growing ecosystem. So that's it. Well, we can't do anything about cows. We certainly make buildings more efficient and reduce carbon emissions. Thanks, everybody, and looking forward to questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Mike. This is truly remarkable technology, and on behalf of Columbus, thanks for choosing Columbus and recognizing the startup community here. Sorry that you had to come right as we were ending a pandemic. We promise we do have good places to eat and all that you can get out to. But this is a groundbreaking. So as I'm a clean tech startup founder myself, and so within the sector, there's a lot of energy focus now on sustainability, on clean tech, reduced emissions, and how you make the world a better place, through technology. So you've got a lot going in there. I guess so. Give us an idea where you're at and the timeline of things. So you're setting up manufacturing here, and then partnering with the glass companies. When are we seeing this in the market, either in a pilot scenario or full blown commercial? Are you guys doing active sales and such now?
Yeah. So we're right at the point of volume product release and production. We've been doing this for some time. We've got pilot capability, as I said, in Russia, and certainly been working with these customers and deployments for some time. But this is the point of transition, which was transitioning this capability onto high volume production lines and high volume production process. That's done. So now it's all about working with the glass companies And the glass companies then spend time qualifying their glass products. There's a lot of testing that they do and all of that. It's about a 9-month process for them to introduce a new product. And so you'll see their glass based on our smart glass film in about 9 months. And then it'll be deployed in buildings. A next step for us, though, is we will be selling only the film. And so that can be applied to existing buildings. And we seek to do that over the next 12 months or so. That's mostly about sales and distribution channels and how do we actually get it deployed, as opposed to a focused effort with the glass companies. But about 9 months, we'll likely be doing, say, some demonstration buildings, and we're actually talking with One Columbus about possibilities here, where maybe we deploy it in a building here in the near term. So you'd be able to see it near term. Yeah.
Gotcha. So that film would go on, and then you could have the separate control unit
Yes.
outside of having it manufactured in the window itself. Awesome.
It could be a film that's just applied to the windows. Yes.
Yeah. So, so with nanotechnology, obviously high tech, one of those buzzwords for the past decade, I'd say.
Yeah.
Always hard to, that was a long time running was the hard part was the manufacturing of it. Whether it was nanotubes, nanowires, and getting that. What's you guys have, I'm sure, IP around all the stuff that you're doing, and found a way to scale that widespread. You say your capability is you can print, millions of square feet of the nanofilm.
Yeah, so there's a lot of technology behind this, and it sounds easy, but it turns out it's really hard to do. And we've got a bunch of PhDs that have been doing materials research forever, and that's resulted in this. The nanoparticles are a commodity. We buy those. That's like buying flour now. Our core IP, part of our core IP, is being able to process these nanoparticles and color code them. And so that's a unique process. The patent's issued and all of that. Turns out that's hard to do, but it's critical because it enables color smart glass. The other thing that we do is we polarize these nanoparticles. They're elongated, kind of like, I guess, like a pencil, right? They're long. And one end of this nanoparticle is polarized with a plus and the other with a minus. And by applying the voltage on the glass, we can cause it to switch instantly because we're not relying on just settling over time or motion. It's polarized. So if this is a minus and this is a plus, it's going to instantly move. That's why we can switch instantly. So that whole process is something that has been patented. And then the overall architecture, being able to use elongated nanoparticles in the switching mechanism, is something that we patent. In a way, there's similarities to technologies like e-ink in a Kindle. E-ink uses two particles, a white particle and a black particle. The white particle is, say, minus, and the black particle is plus. And depending on what voltage is applied, you get black or white. And so that's why you see the image in black or white, but you can't see through it. And what we've done is something that allows people to see through it, which makes it smart glass and smart window. Yeah.
Wow. No, that's truly incredible technology. So very excited for it. I could go on forever, but let's open it up to the other people joining us, and ask your questions of Mike and Nodis about what they've got. If anybody wants to unmute you, you're welcome to unmute. We should have that turned off. There you go.
Hi there.
Yep.
Congratulations to start. You seem to be far enough along, but I have friends in as the head of the Case Western Reserve University Polymer Department. Would any contacts like that be of value to you?
Yeah, sure. Certainly, polymers are a big part of what we do, and we're right in the middle of that with both the substrate and the way we seal this, and So definitely, yeah. We spent a lot of time in collaboration with research organizations, first in Singapore, and we work with a group in Russia as well. And we're trying to replicate that capability here. And actually, have been talking with OSU about that. But would love to be introduced. Thank you.
Is your email then in the? Yeah, it was in the broadcast, so I know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, and it's here on this the screen. I can switch it back later.
Okay.
But it's easy. It's mholt@nodiscorp.com.
Okay, we'll get that. All right, I'll drop something off to you.
Great, thanks.
Mary, I know you had some questions that came across there. If you want to ask directly.
Yeah, if I can remember what they are. Help me out, George, if I don't. Yeah, so interesting. Oh my gosh, like this is so cool to hear about. One, you talked about energy being generated. Are you able to store it anywhere?
No, we don't store it. What we do is, I talk about these nanoparticles controlling infrared. Part of that is keeping infrared from coming into the building because that's what heats up the building. So in the summer, you don't want the infrared to come in the winter, you do. What we do, rather than just reject the infrared, we can redirect it. And so we redirect the infrared to solar cells that are arranged around the window, around the frame of the window. And then those solar cells then generate the electricity. So we focus the infrared onto solar cells, and that generates electricity. A huge benefit of that, this is a second generation product, but a huge benefit to that is that then powers the windows. So we don't have to apply power to the windows separately.
Yeah. So it almost is stored just locally, almost.
Yeah, I mean,
in a layperson's scientific mind.
Yeah, I suppose there could be battery storage or something, but and I guess we'll think about how we do that. But the amount of electricity that's generated isn't huge for any one window. It's not. This isn't hugely efficient. But you have a lot of windows and a huge facade. Big buildings. You have a huge facade and a much bigger window facade than you do, say, the top of the building in a skyscraper. So you actually have a lot of area that can be used to generate electricity and power the building. So it is significant. When you add it all up, it becomes very significant.
Yeah, and you talked about applying the film to existing buildings.
Yes.
Now, it looked like the film went between two panes of glass, so that doesn't need to happen when in an existing building?
No, it doesn't need to happen. The film is just housing the nanoparticles to be shutters. It can be applied on an existing building. We just need to have the conductivity layer applied to the film rather than the glass, so we can apply a voltage across it.
Mm-hmm. So, and a last question, so everybody else has a chance. Any benefit to different colors? Is there, or is just preference?
So we're starting to learn some of that. A lot of it is preference. Not all architects want everything to be blue, and people don't want their rooms to always be blue. And so there's a preference piece to it. But it turns out in some applications there is benefit to even switching the colors. One of these is greenhouses. Turns out the growing cycle of plants can different periods of the cycle benefit from different color light. And so by controlling the lighting colors in a greenhouse, you can have a big impact on the growing cycle of the plants. And you have to be able to switch the colors. And so that's one case where the color switching brings a benefit, yes.
I wonder if there's benefit to like mood and stress levels and things like that too with different colors of light.
Yeah, so absolutely there is this whole comfort piece, which first level is the ability to control glare, the amount of glare that comes into your room. And that's what we do with the tinting. But color is another one of those aspects where, yeah, of course, there is an impact on comfort and that kind of thing through the color. In a way, there hasn't been a market for. There's been huge demand and interest, but nobody's had a solution for this. So no other smart glass is color. So people say, well, it'd be nice if it wasn't blue, but I guess I'll have to live with blue. Now that there are programmable colors, then you start coming up with all of these what if and questions and benefits, and we're starting to learn about what those are.
Yeah, I would think with like the Nationwide building where they do the salute to the Blue Jackets or to Ohio State or a social message, being able, is it something where they can change it like that to
Sure.
be able to like outline letters and whatnot?
Well, with the next step where we control each pixel, then you can put any image. And we've been contacted by some of the car companies that want to create a display of your back window of your car. And they want to be able to use that for advertising. So when all the cars are parked, say in the parking lot at, in a stadium or whatever, and suddenly it's a giant billboard. I'm not sure where and how that would work, but that's what they want to do. So your car becomes a low power, transparent display driving around.
Yeah, that was my question too, Steve, or my interest. As a technologist, I can absolutely see like the tinting portion, and that science behind that is kind of in use already, as you said, as long as you're okay with blue. But man, being able to control each pixel is a game changer. Can you talk a little more on that? Like, have you guys actually got a prototype going, or is it still kind of in concept stage?
Well, the technology is the same. And actually where we came from, the team was all about display, low power display, transparent display. That's what they did. They did nanoparticle-based low transparent display for a company called Copytel, which a US company that went public and then afterwards was acquired. And these guys actually, as a team, before there was a company, thought, well, let's go do another display company. And I met with them and we looked at all this. I said, let's do smart glass, right? I mean, we can do this for smart glass. But the whole basis was display. That hasn't changed. The technology is the same. The only difference is you just need to control each individual pixel. That's not a new technology. That's used in every LCD TV, right? We don't need to invent that. We simply need to apply it to this to be able to do the control on the pixel control.
Wow, so that's the roots of the team. That's amazing. That is awesome. That's super exciting. Super exciting.
Other questions out there for Mike?
I see Brian had to step away. I'm sure he was going to have some too, maybe when he gets back.
Yeah. So, well, Mike, your go-to-market strategy, so licensing to the technology companies or to the glass companies, and then are you guys looking to have direct sales of the film or work through distributors, or what's the expansion market look like there?
So we actually don't, the business model isn't to license to glass companies, it's to sell the smart film to the glass company.
Okay.
There's a license that they take as part of that, but
Sure.
we sell the film, and the way the business scales is these glass companies make a lot of glass, right? It's not a small amount of glass, and so we get into glass programs with these glass companies. It drives huge volume, and so we're selling the film, and that's the manufacturing that we're scaling to be able to scale with those glass products. We like that go-to-market because it's very focused. Saint-Gobain, for example, is the #1 glass company in the world, 60 billion in sales. Doesn't take much in the way of glass programs using our smart film to create a substantial business. And we work, so there's 200 glass companies in the world, float glass manufacturing companies in the world, and those are the ones that we want to get to in a very focused way. Being able to sell to existing buildings, of course, is hugely interesting because there's a lot of buildings, there's a lot of windows in the world. It'd be nice to have that as a market as well. And that becomes a different go-to-market problem. How do you deliver the film in a way where it can be installed and used? I don't think it's as simple as you go to Home Depot and you buy the film. And so we've got to figure out how we develop those channels, those value-added resellers, which essentially are installers that go and then deploy this film. That'll be a next step for us. We start with the glass companies just because it's big and focused, and we can do that, say, cost effectively in terms of a go-to-market approach.
Fastest path to revenue.
Just real quick, does the current economic situation where you've got a lot of vacant retail space, vacant office space, corporate real estate, does that impact your go-to-market strategy at all right now, or do you see opportunity in the current situation?
So no, I don't think it does. I mean, that's a customer of a customer, and by the time new buildings are deployed, this probably isn't an issue. I guess it depends on how much glass people buy, and are people buying less glass. But the big drivers for this. So first, in the building space, there are now, because this is the buildings are the biggest producer of CO2 emissions. The only way the world will ever address greenhouse gas emissions, global warming, meet the Paris Accord and all of this is by addressing buildings. And smart glass is the obvious way to do that. And so there are places, governments now that require smart glass in all new buildings. You can't build a building without using smart glass. That's not yet in the US, but probably at some point that will be the case. I mean, there has been talk, I don't know if it's real, but there's talk of, New York City make buildings without windows because of this problem. That doesn't seem very viable. It seems much more viable to make buildings with smart glass windows. And so that's one thing that drives demand. Cars really want to implement smart glass, but it's been too expensive. And so it's only implemented in the highest end cars, Rolls-Royce, Maybach, these kinds of things. And so being able to do it more cost effectively brings us to, all cars. And that just reduces the load on the air conditioning, makes it more comfortable. And so it becomes a great solution for cars. So those are some of the drivers of what we do. And a big enabler is that we can do this much more cost effectively, and that just enables a much bigger market because it's more affordable in these kinds of applications. One thing I would say though, just say operationally, all of this COVID situation, I wouldn't say it's a benefit, but in a way, it's kind of leveled the playing field in terms of marketing, in that it used to be first thing a glass company would say to us is, come meet with us. And we just got a call a little while ago from a big glass company in Peru. And normally it would be, come and meet with us, and we'd say, can we really go to Peru? Can we afford it? Does it make sense? Now nobody expects that. Hey, let's get on Zoom and give us a demo on Zoom, and let's talk about how we engage. So it's almost leveled the playing field in terms of how you go to market with customers.
Yeah, no, the pandemic has certainly shown some things, and now that we're all used to Zoom, and we've got costs that have gone up in some areas, with healthcare and providing the employee management and monitoring, but then things like that, travel, right? Obviously, now people are used to it. They can jump on a call and not expected to be in their office in Peru, and so you can take about 10K off the travel budget and be just as effective. So I guess the steps here as you guys scale. What are you guys looking at exit wise, and the capital management plan as you guys go through there? You've got investment dollars behind it, but what's the end game there?
Well, we don't always get to choose our exit. We're focused first on building a great business, and good things will come out of that. In terms of capitalization, our first investor was the Singapore government, National Research Foundation, and Get to Volume. We have some other smaller investments, say seed VCs, that invested 50 to 100K a piece. We've had about $1 million invested. We just closed a pre-Series A small funding round, which is $500,000 from a U.S. investor, New York City investor. We wanted to do that because we really wanted, with the move to the U.S., we really wanted to have a U.S. investor. And we'll be raising our Series A funding. We plan on closing October, maybe November. That'll be $6 million of funding, and that's the last piece of kind of scaling the manufacturing and the go-to-volume piece of it. We grow pretty nicely based on that because our margins are quite good, and so I think we can grow organically. Not to say that we won't be raising any more money after that, but we can certainly go a long ways with what we've got and scale the business that way. In terms of exit, I mean, there's lots of possibilities. I don't think that's something that would we're looking at right away. But acquisition would be an obvious one. There have been big acquisitions of smart glass companies in the past. Saint-Gobain bought Sage for, I don't know, what was it? If I remember right, $700 million or something. So there's all of these glass companies would like to have, smart glass technology and capabilities. So that's a possibility. On the other hand, Research Frontiers, who supplies all of the smart glass to automotive, they're a New York NASDAQ listed company. I think they have been for 25 years. They went from, well, I don't know, it's like a $25 million market cap last year, the year before. They're about 170 million now market cap, and not many people. I think there are 5 guys in the company or something. So, certainly that kind of an exit as a listed company or continuing to grow with the revenue that we've got. Any of those are possibilities.
Yep.
We're worried about how we scale the company much more than we are how we get out of it. But anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. But yeah, it's always
someday.
You have that thought on it. So, well, and what I'll do, we can chat afterwards. But there's a pretty large public investment arm that's in infrastructure, so that we're engaged with that. I'll share with you.
Great.
So, because be a great Series A participant, I'm sure. So, okay, well, this we're about wrapped up here for the end. Is there any last anybody want to have a last burning question that they really want to get answered? If not, what we'll do is so one thing we always ask Mike is, us as a community, the people that are listening, tuning in, may watch it later. What can we do to help you and help Nodis?
Well, you all have already offered up a lot of that. Introductions. I think really the big help is getting us integrated into the startup community here, and so that we can benefit from those relationships, that involvement. Certainly, we will be hiring people, and so that visibility, and connections with the right people are important towards hiring. But I think it's mostly just, we're new to Columbus, so being a integral part of the startup ecosystem is interesting and valuable to us, and I guess that's what you're doing for us right now. So more of that would be good.
Certainly. Okay. So we will help with that, and anybody that has connections out there and everything. Mike, if you want to load your screen one last time, just to share the connection there for the audience.
Yeah. So my email's here: mholt@nodiscorp.com.
Perfect. So, and you can always go to 1millioncups.com and then either /ColumbusOH or find Columbus, Ohio on there and connect with anybody from the 1 Million Cups team. We'll be happy to introduce you to Mike. and share it that way as well. But feel free to connect with Mike and check out. Thank you very much for the presentation. It's awesome technology. We're very happy to have you part of the Columbus ecosystem here. Thank you for choosing Columbus. So
yeah, thanks for having me, and I
to,
appreciate it. Yeah, good
So-
to virtually meet everybody.
yeah. So no, perfect. So thank you everybody for tuning in and joining us. We'll be back here next week every Wednesday at 9 a.m. You can either join us on the Zoom, so sign up to receive our newsletters where you'll get the registration links each week, or watch our social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're out there on everything at 1 Million Cups Columbus. And then you can always watch live as we stream and do the replays on Facebook and YouTube. So thanks everyone for turning in. Have a great week, and we will catch you next week on 1 Million Cups Columbus.
Hi,
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
good
Have a
day.
great day.
All right. Good morning, and welcome to another episode of 1 Million Cups Columbus. Thank you all for joining us. We bring this to you weekly as your dose of entrepreneurship a midweek, and sharing the stories of those entrepreneurs that are building companies and getting to hear and learn from each other as they do so. So I'm Steve Flaherty, lead organizer here at 1 Million Cups. I'm joined by George Zarepsky and Mark Doyle, who also are the co-organizers here at 1 Million Cups Columbus. And today we've got an awesome presentation from Mike Holt with Nodis about their technology that they're doing with glass and auto tinting for businesses, buildings, homes, and autos. So we'll get to learn all about that in a little bit. We do meet every Wednesday. So obviously we've been in quarantine here for the past few months, and it doesn't matter. You can join us virtually. We've gone. We stood up a virtual system right out of the gate. We met in person last in March, and have been coming to you virtually every week, 9 a.m. Wednesdays. You can join us right here at 1 Million Cups. Always open to anyone and free to attend. And when we get back in person, we've always got free coffee as well. So thanks again for joining us today. Let's go ahead and go around the room for anybody that is here. They can unmute and say hello. And then we're also streaming live to Facebook. So join us there as well.
Now let's go all the way out to the wonderful state of Iowa, and our friend Ben McDougall, the 1 Million Cups Midwest rep, is joining us. So Ben, do you want to give a few words?
I've given a lot of words over the last couple of days. We just got finished with our 1 Million Cups Organizers Summit. And for the community, know that this is our annual holiday where organizers from throughout there's 133 communities represented out of about 150, 160 that we have nationwide. And so it was just a really remarkable time. We did it virtually, and I feel like there was some spirit, some connectivity that went beyond just our average Zoom conversations. And so that was good. And hopefully it was a chance for organizers to come together and be inspired by what's happening in all these different entrepreneurial ecosystems through kind of this consistent magic of 1MC. I will say that I had to be here this morning, and this is not 9 a.m. This is 9 a.m. Eastern time. I'm in Des Moines, and so I had to wake up a little extra early to come celebrate with the Columbus crew because we give 4 awards away across the entire country each year. And yesterday it was announced that 1MC Columbus was the recipient of the Good Neighbor Award. And so this was a neat recognition for your community as a symbol of the hard work that your organizers, your community, the presenters, and the entrepreneurs are doing to support each other, but also to support other 1MC communities. And I think that comes from the neat collaborations with Cleveland, and as Cincinnati brews up their new 1 Million Cups community, being open and willing to support their efforts in learning how 1MC can help connect and educate their entrepreneurs. And so I had to come in here, and I know this is a little all of a sudden official sounding now that I've gotten finished. But it's a treat to be here, and looking forward to getting back into the swing of every Wednesday with everyone. Cheers.
Awesome. Thank you, Ben. Yeah, it's been a fun week. All right, so let's go to Mary Marshall. Welcome back.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to be here with you. I'm a registered nurse and health consultant and coach. And so, we all know that facing a health crisis or scary decisions about our health can, be sort of overwhelming and lonely, and can make us feel like we don't know, we don't have the control over those decisions. So I help educate people and make them aware of their options and make those decisions with confidence and hope. That's me.
Awesome. Glad you're here.
Thanks.
Let's see, Brian Gintz. Good to see you again.
Brian Gintz, I work at Navia, and we primarily do MVP consultation and development for mobile and hopefully soon desktop apps with Google's Flutter and Firebase as a primary development language.
Awesome. Good to see you again. Let's see, Irvin. I don't want to try your last name. Do you mind giving me the pronunciation, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't worry, I have a hard time saying it myself. It's Garabovic. This is actually my first time on your Columbus Cleveland 1 million cups meeting. I'm kind of brand new to not only the area. I actually previously did a lot of traveling to Cincinnati and stuff. But I've been, over the last few years, I've been helping a lot of startups and entrepreneurs really with kind of a unique model, giving them the ability to not only gain access to very robust health benefit offerings, but streamline a lot of their HR services, which allows them to really slow down their burn rate as they start getting funding, extend their runway, really take care of various risk and compliance aspects for their business, and really try and protect their evaluation. So I've had the pleasure of working with various startups all throughout the US with this type of model, but also using my network to try to connect them with various individuals. So it's been fantastic, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Glad you're here. Irvin Garabovic.
Garabovic, correct. Yes. Good job.
Right.
There we go. That's a win for today, especially this morning.
Yeah. Glad you're here. Let's see. S.J. Baraconi.
Good morning. Speaking of last names, you pronounced that right on. So SJ is my name, and it's not initials, and then indeed Baraconi. So I have two primary entrepreneurial ventures in no particular order. First, CCO, it's a really neat role that I have with the H7 Network, h7network.com. And that's here in Central Ohio and is now expanding to our other 8 states. So I partner up with the founder. It runs as its own business for me. Second, I founded my own business prior to H7, and I'm still active there with SBSL, which is an educational solutions provider. So right now, I'd say about a decade, maybe even longer, maybe even a generation's worth of educational transformation is happening beneath or right in front of our very eyes. And I am positioning myself right below the surface to be part of that, helping business workplaces, also helping households with educational decision-making, because the stuff that we assumed was the only way, college is the only option, you have to go to the public school around the corner, that kind of stuff is no longer the case. It's being completely disrupted. So that is what SBSL is here for, is an educational solutions provider. So thank you and enjoy your day.
Thank you. Loving the beard. All right, Nixon Davis.
Hey guys, good morning. Nixon here. So I'm a relatively new member to 1MC. A friend of mine, Steve Flattery, that organized this event. sort of told me a little bit about it. I'm an entrepreneur myself. A couple ventures that into more or less. I'm a program manager with a consulting company. Getting new contracts has been sort of challenging in this time so far. One of my relatively new ventures that I started and is trying to finish is a food truck. Basically catering Caribbean fusion cuisine to the Central Ohio market. So that's myself. Glad to be a part of this. All of the presentations that I've seen so far has been great and inspirational. So I'm really engaged in this. So
Nixon, where did you learn how to cook that type of food?
Originally, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. In the Caribbean, it's the southernmost island, and I've been, cooking growing up and stuff, being, sort of engaged when my mom and dad is in the kitchen. So that's where I'm sort of transitioning that sort of flavorful cuisine and have it sort of catered to the Midwest market.
Do you have any flagship items that you plan to really come out of the gate with?
Yeah, I have a couple. Trinidad overall, they have a lot of Indo-African influences within the culture and within the cuisine. So one of them that I'm gonna basically have as my featured item, they call it doubles. It's a chickpea flatbread sandwich, and basically it's some chickpeas, and then the flatbread itself is a lightly fried flatbread, but it also has like cumin spices, and they have a lot of flavorful spices in it. You pair it with some other toppings as well. So you have toppings sort of like shredded cucumber, tamarind sauce. So it's sort of vegan. It could be a vegetarian dish, but it's really, really tasty. So that's one of my sort of flagship items that I'm gonna put there. One of the other one I'm thinking about featuring is a guava barbecue sauce that is really, really good. It hits a lot of the different sort of notes as you tasting it. So it's something to be excited about.
Yeah, I just went straight to coffee and skipped breakfast. So this is kind of me. I see the chat lighting up and how good that sounds. Hey, good luck with that venture. And I know Steve's got some unique experience in the food truck world. So
yes. So he has a lot of connects as well. So I'm great to sort of grateful to meet Steve and help him with all of his events and stuff that has been going pretty well.
Thank you,
Nixon's
Nixon.
modest. Nixon's been he was the left-hand guy for all of our Ohio Food Truck Rally stuff. So.
Okay, now we're all hungry. So that's awesome. Look forward to trying it out. All right, let's go to Sue Marone.
Thanks, I get to follow that. I don't have any food to present to any of you, nor coffee. My name is Sue Marone. I have a software program called Mosaic Junction. It's a research program. I am hoping that I'll be able to present at 1 million cups. I sent the information in, and I'm hoping that Steve or someone will contact me back. This will be a program that I truly believe would have a lot of value add, both to the 1 million cup chapters and then to the Kaufman Group itself. And I hope we can go into more detail at a later point in time.
Yep,
Awesome.
We've been leading up to the summit, Sue. We got your notes here, and we'll get you on the schedule and give you the hour to present here soon. So we'll circle
That'd
back for sure.
Thanks.
Where's the baby?
Next week. Actually, it's been a little delayed, but yes, you'll probably hear him in a playpen and screaming at me and cartoon music. But we we will move on.
Awesome. Glad you're here. So Steve's going to tell you a little bit more about 1 Million Cups and what the organization is, but it is organizer-led. And so joining forces with Steve, we've got myself, Mark Doyle, and George Zaretsky. I'm originally from Texas, but fell in love with the 1 Million Cups platform there. Joined here, started going, and again, same awesome content, same awesome presenters in Central Ohio. So I was able to join as a presenter, I've been a presenter, but join as an organizer, and it's been fantastic. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a software developer, fractional CTO, and started a company called MailJive, which helps employees find the information they need when they need it. So always glad to be here every week. George?
Hey guys, so Nixon, man, I about fell out my chair. So it's a little no secret to this crew, but I'm an honorary Trinidadian. I've got friends that we call family, live down in Chaguanas. So we need to hook up, man. My wife is going to absolutely faint when she hears about these doubles. She was just talking about it the other day. So
that's great.
Super stoked about that. But yeah, so I've been part of the 1MC Nation since 2016 as a presenter for the first few years, and came on board as an organizer here in Columbus in late 2018. My passion is just paying forward all the experience that I've learned in my journeys, and sharing the knowledge and awareness of this awesome platform to everyone that I can. Our goal, as Steve will dig into a little bit here, is to just help remove those barriers to entrepreneurship, but also give exposure to the great ecosystem, to the great entrepreneurs we have in this ecosystem here in Columbus. And now, because we're virtual, across the nation. So it's been a really exciting time. I'm still feeling the high from our summit Monday and Tuesday. It was just like jam-packed of, energy and just talking to our cohorts across the nation that are doing the same thing, and those other 150 plus communities. So just super stoked, super excited, and can't wait to hear about Nodis through Mike. I've actually got some inside scoop. I've been working with them on the back end a little bit. Really excited about their presence in Columbus now. I can't wait to become a beta tester, nudge, nudge, for the technology wherever I can. So this is going to be a great presentation, just like our others. So looking forward to it. Thanks.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys, and yes, thank you everybody for joining this morning and sharing what you do. That's part of the little bit that we missed with the virtual. So thanks for tuning in and taking the time to tell us a little bit about yourself. So and thank you very much to George and Mark, who have been instrumental in helping putting this on every week. This is a community-led. This isn't owned by anybody. It's not my 1MC. It's not George's or Mark's or any organization. It's 1 Million Cups. Caffeinated by the Kauffman Foundation. But Columbus, this is your organization. This is your entrepreneurial education platform and connection platform to the entrepreneurs that are in Columbus that are doing these things. So thank you very much, Ben, for giving the shout out about the award. We are very excited to be one of the 4 communities that did receive that. For us, that's the Columbus way. Being a good neighbor, a little bit of the Midwest spirit and everything. So, but that is reflective of who we are as a community, not just reflective of the organization team. This is our organization. So this is a Columbus award. So be proud of that. It was recognized nationally yesterday at the summit. So we're very honored to receive that. So normally I'd go through a little presentation here. I don't want to delay anymore and want to get into Mike with Nodis, but just a brief for those that have never been to 1MC. 1 Million Cups was started in 2016 by the Kauffman Foundation, kind of a grassroots effort for entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs to connect. Sometimes it's a lonely journey. And so the more that we can get around, normally 1 million cups of coffee. If you get 1 million cups of coffee, you get 1 million entrepreneurs talking, connecting, making the world a better place. So it's one of those unilateral things that entrepreneurship doesn't matter who you are, what you do. It's agnostic to all industries. And if we can connect, we can learn from each other, learn from startup founders, and then also help those companies get awareness, get exposure, get the information that they need when they need it, so that they can be a success and create more companies and do more things inside the community themselves.